Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Hill. An article 13 hours ago, DOJ sought Mar-a-Lago footage from days before Trump turned over documents to the National Archives. The Justice Department sought security footage at Mar-a-Lago from as far back as the week before President Trump's team turned over an initial batch of documents to the National Archives. The details surfaced as a federal magistrate judge agreed to a Justice Department request to unseal a slightly less redacted version of the affidavit used to gain a warrant to search Trump's Florida home. The bulk of the documents are... And it's unclear to what extent Trump's team complied. So, they want the security footage. They want it badly. DOJ officials, this is Yahoo News, that was The Hill. DOJ officials were alarmed by security footage of the Mar-a-Lago room where classified info was being stored. Why would they, that's Yahoo. Why would they be alarmed? That was a Business Insider article, by the way. Why would they be alarmed? I mean, you might say, well, it's actually a good thing that there's closed-circuit television running at all times. Now, you look, an independent Trump and family watched FBI Mar-a-Lago search on security cameras from New York, his attorney reveals. They visited Trump in June. Then they raided Mar-a-Lago in August. And he gave about 15 boxes back in February. Now, each time any government official, whether it was the DOJ or the Federal Bureau of Investigation, stepped foot in Mar-a-Lago, they were being recorded on video. So, hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. You see what's going on. And subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. We're going to be past 200,000 subs on this channel very, very soon. And I'm going to be doing a lot of work on H.A. Goodman's other channel and the Stock Market Crash channel. They want the security footage very badly. And the reason they want the security footage is that it's detrimental to the DOJ, Merrick Garland, the administration of mashed potato brains, to be on videotape. Number one, Bureau agents could have, whether Rand Paul is right, for example, planted documents or evidence. But, I mean, the big issue is, did they follow protocol? Were they abiding by protocol when it came to searching President Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence? That's a big issue. And so it's not often that the Bureau or any government official is on videotape. But see, the thing with Trump, number one, he's a billionaire. So ordinarily, the government, if they want to go after somebody, could bankrupt that person generally. Generally, it's very difficult to go up against any government, the U.S. government, obviously, because you need an unlimited amount of money. With Trump, he has basically an unlimited amount of money. So they haven't indicted him after endless investigations. He hasn't committed a crime. Had he committed a crime, he would have been indicted 6 years ago. Okay? The Mueller probe found nothing. The Steele dossier was purchased by Clinton. The whole thing was absolutely fabricated. And then they say, well, you know, it wasn't a hoax. It really wasn't. It's like, well, then why didn't they indict him on what they obsessed over for 3-4 years? They're still talking about how the Kremlin interfered in 2016. Nobody knows how. Not one journalist can talk about a Facebook ad, can describe a specific Facebook ad. I would love for somebody at Mother Jones to describe a specific Facebook ad, or The Nation, or whatever, Daily Beast, or the Washington Post, whatever. Describe a specific Facebook ad that swung 2016. I mean, it was a concerted effort, we learned, by the Kremlin to hack the DNC. Then answer also why the DNC didn't give its computer servers to James Comey. And Comey even asked for them. He said, hey, can I have them? And they said, nah, you can't have them. But you better trust us. We hired a firm, and they'll give you the information. Vice, other publications have stated, yeah, the DNC never gave their computer servers. But anyway, Trump, the thing with Trump and the security footage is that the issue of doubt is now omnipresent. Trump is able to level suspicion, doubt, distrust of the Democratic Party. That's really why they're investigating him. It's not about classified documents. They knew he had classified documents. He was a former president. The National Archives knew he had classified documents since, February of this year? They already retrieved 15 boxes. 15 boxes in February. And then they got an additional in August when they raided his residence in Mar-a-Lago. They got an additional 15, 16 or so boxes of documents. The initial batch of documents that he willingly gave were classified. If he was breaking the law, they would have already indicted him. They knew he had classified documents. The problem is that he's a former president. He had the power to declassify. They're not certain if he had declassified all the documents. They don't know what to do. They're not sure about setting a precedent just yet. They'll almost certainly indict Trump in 2023 when Mashed Potato Brains Joe gets impeached. But he had already given 15 boxes. The National Archives, the Department of Justice, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation already knew he had classified documents. When they raided Mar-a-Lago, they had known this already. So it would be very difficult, even if they indicted Trump, to prove that it was damaging to national security when in June, they gave him a thank you note and they said, go ahead. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, according to the Wall Street Journal, gave Trump a thank you note and said, look, your storage facility, just put another padlock or another lock on there. Okay? They had already known that he was storing boxes as a former president. And he was negotiating with his team of attorneys with the National Archives and the Department of Justice. The problem was the economy is tanking. Inflation is through the roof. Food prices, rent. They say, well, headline inflation went down by 0.1%, something like that, 0.2%. But actually, food and rent went up. And inflation is not being addressed by interest rates that are going way up. And that's going to harm that interest rates going up, the alleged cure to the inflation that Powell and Biden and all these people ignored in 2021. That is, you don't raise interest rates in a recession. I mean, you have to be a complete imbecile to do that, and that's the Democratic Party. You don't raise interest rates in a recession and then make it difficult for oil and gas companies to operate, which is what Mashed Potato Brains did when he first got into the Oval Office. Then he reversed course, and now he's being sued by environmental groups. But all of this, the obsession with Trump going into 3 years into Biden's presidency, we're going into his third year within a couple of months, okay? They're obsessing over Trump because they have accomplished nothing, aside from inflation, real wages going down 4.4%, terrible foreign policy, geopolitical nightmare in Europe, and they say, well, it's not our fault. You could have prevented that somehow. You could have at least tried for a peace treaty or negotiated deal or settlement or something. But there are these sacred cows. You knew soldiers stationed at the border for months? You could have at least tried. Whether you tried, Macron tried, other European leaders tried, why didn't Mashed Potato Brains Joe? So he didn't want to, because obviously there's a political element here. Oh, it's the invasion. It's the geopolitical nightmare in Europe. That's why we have problems. That's why our economy's tanking. No. I was talking about a stock market crash, an economic decline, a recession in September and October of 2021. Read my Federalist article. And that's below in the description section and the pinned comment. And watch the playlist. I was talking about this and I predicted all of this. And it's going to get much, much worse. 1,300 points down yesterday. And it's just going to get much, much worse. You have inflation. When you have inflation at 8 to 9%, very likely it's a lot higher. Okay? But when you have inflation at 8 to 9% in a contracting economy with interest rates going up, okay, and food prices and rent going up, Democrats are in a world of hurt in terms of the midterms. The House is definitely going Republican. The Senate is almost certainly going Republican. And then they're going to investigate Joe and Hunter and Hillary and everybody on the Democratic side. And they're going to investigate with the same zeal and enthusiasm and passion and energy as Democrats did with Trump. The difference being they have crimes like Hunter's emails, clear violations of the law, graft, bribery, pay-to-play schemes, obvious quid pro quo. I mean, you have to read the New York Post and Daily Mail. Problem is that morally superior Democrats never read anything detrimental to them. They don't even know that in Nevada, a Democrat is accused of ending life of a journalist. So, anyway, it's the chaos and mayhem is coming from the Democratic Party side of the divide. Not, you hear like, oh, Trump Republican, oh, they're so, they're so extreme. It's like, no. Find one Trump Republican that ended the life of a journalist. Because we can find one Democrat that did that. Okay? You can also find a Democrat, Arizona State Senator, that did despicable things. Just as despicable as what happened in Nevada. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. They want his security footage because they know very likely it's incriminating or they know that it could prevent a conviction. It's very difficult to prove that he's damaging national security when the security footage showed the Federal Bureau of Investigation going into Mar-a-Lago in June and August. And still he hasn't been indicted. Give me your thoughts below. The reason he hasn't been indicted is that he didn't commit a crime. The reason Hunter and Madam Secretary haven't been indicted is that they did commit crimes, but we're talking about Democrats. Okay. You can't have top secret, and I want a Hillary Trump 2024, but you can't have top secret intelligence on private servers. Okay, I'm going to speak very slowly now for morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats. Boxes at Mar-a-Lago are not nearly in the same league, stratosphere, as private servers for 4 years siphoning classified data outside of the United States government. And then a week before, Comey, with the cover-up, said, oh gosh, I have the goods on you. Well, by the way, there's classified data on Uma Abedin's laptop. There was more classified data probably floating around President Obama's administration than within the United States government. But if you have private servers siphoning and transferring, we don't know how that happened, classified data onto private secret networks. That's infinitely worse than a former president who could declassify documents with boxes for a library, or hiding Durham probe special counsel documents. That is an issue also. That's an issue that could be incriminating for the government, but also possible legal issue for President Trump. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. He's not giving the security footage, and it's hilarious, and it's obvious why he wouldn't want to give the security footage. Give me your thoughts below.